is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my movie collection for 2016 and the stand-up section. Yeah, 4 years ago I did not have a stand-up comedy section. I only had a handful of stand-up comedy DVDs mixed in with my regular comedy films, but now I've got over 30, so I made a section just for these. Big fan of stand-up comedy and comedians in general. So let's get started. So up first I have a couple of these Best of Comedy Central Presents Uncensored. This is Volume 1 with Lewis Black, Dane Cook, Jeff Dunham, Jim Gaffigan, Mitch Hedberg, Dimitri Martin, Carlos Mencia, and Brian Regan. Yeah, about half of these comics I have some of their own stand-up specials. Big fans of many of these people, of course. Mitch Hedberg's set is great. Guy passed away a number of years ago. He was a really great comic. Shame we lost him. Also have the second volume, also from 2008, with Dave Attell, Mike Birbiglia, Frank Caliendo, Zach Galifianakis, Stephen Lynch, Patton Oswalt, Nick Swardson, and Daniel Tosh. Again, I've got a couple of DVDs of some of those guys as well. So moving on, I've got a couple of Bill Burr DVDs. Why Do I Do This? From 2008. Yeah, big fan of Bill Burr. He's one of the funniest and smartest comics. Just has a really interesting outlook on life. I've watched a lot of his YouTube clips on his appearances with like Conan and Jimmy Fallon. Always tells it how it is. Bill Burr is one of the best in my opinion. And I also have his Let It Go from 2010. I need to get a couple more Bill Burr because I know he puts stuff out on Netflix, and I've watched all those on Netflix, so hopefully I get a couple more Bill Burr DVDs. Anyway, moving on, we have Brian Regan from this is Standing Up from 2007. Yeah, very good comic as well. Very funny guy, very silly, but also has a lot of deep-rooted anger, much like Bill Burr as well. Yeah, good comic, Brian Regan. And I also have his The Epitome of Hyperbole from 2008, I believe, or 2009, something like that. 2008. Yeah, good comic, Brian Regan. Alright, up next I have a couple Daniel Tosh. Daniel Tosh, Completely Serious from 2007. Yeah, big fan of him, of course. I've watched a few Tosh.0 over the years on, is it the E! Channel or Comedy Central? Yeah, really funny guy. Has interesting jokes that sort of take a while to develop, and then he only appeals to like only a couple people in the audience. That's some of his good stuff. And I also have Daniel Tosh, Happy Thoughts from 2011. Alright, moving on. We have Dennis Leary, The Ultimate Collection, 2-disc comedy set. Big fan of Dennis Leary as an actor. He's appeared in a bunch of great movies, and I've always enjoyed him in movies. This one features No Cure for Cancer from 1992, which is a fantastic performance, and also features Lock and Load from 1997. Dennis Leary, great, funny guy. I did watch his show on FX, The Firefighters in Boston. I forget what it's called, a little bit. But yeah, Dennis Leary is a good actor. Alright, moving on, we have An Evening with Kevin Smith from 2002. Yeah, Kevin Smith, the director, of course. Good speaker, tells great stories, and this is really him going on to college campuses and giving talks, telling stories. There's a great story about a encounter he has with Prince. Yeah, that's a Queen. Yeah, so Kevin Smith, not everybody loves his movies. Of course, his directing style isn't great, but he's a great writer and makes funny movies. And I also got An Evening with Kevin Smith 2, Evening Harder, from 2006. to the set, uncensored and unrated, obviously. That's funny since I say obviously a lot in my videos. Okay, moving on. Up next we have Frank Caliendo, All Over the Place. From 2008, yeah, very funny guy who does impressions. He appears a lot on NFL, I think Fox. Does impressions of all the guys on Fox Football Sundays. His John Madden is really very funny. Does people like Al Pacino and Robin Williams, Robert De Niro, George Bush, Bill Clinton. Yeah, a lot of his impressions sort of kind of look and sound the same because of his the way he's built. But yeah, Frank Caliendo, a funny guy, and when he strings them all together, they're pretty funny. Alright, up next we have Jeff Dunham, Arguing with Myself. Of course, probably the most popular ventriloquist. Very funny guy as well. His jokes are good, and his dummies are all great. This is yeah, Arguing with Myself from like 2006, I believe, something like that. Then we have the Spark of Insanity from 2009, I believe, something like that. And I also got Controlled Chaos from 2011, I think. And Minding the Monsters from 2012, something like that. Alright, up next we have Jerry Seinfeld, I'm Telling You for the Last Time, live on Broadway. This came out in 1998 after he was, right about the time he was finished with Seinfeld. Of course, Jerry Seinfeld, one of my favorite people in show business, period. Just a great guy, very funny, tells great jokes. And I'm a big fan of his web series, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. I've watched all those. Yeah, huge Seinfeld fan. It's my favorite sitcom of all time. And that's a great stand-up special. He did it in the late 90s. Alright, up next we have Jim Gaffigan. One of my favorite comics, Beyond the Pale from 2006, of course, Hot Pockets. Hot Pockets. Yeah, really funny guy, great Midwestern sensibility. I've been watching his show, the Jim Gaffigan Show, on TV Land over the last couple years. Yeah, very funny guy. Really become really popular over the last few years. King Baby from 2009. Obsessed from 2012. Yeah, does great jokes on food, especially. That's what he's known for. And Mr. Universe from 2014. Alright, moving on. Kathleen Madigan, probably my favorite female comic. In Other Words from 2006. Yeah, really funny girl. Just a great comic. She's not just a great female comedian. She's sort of like the female equivalent of Jim Gaffigan. Again, very Midwestern sensibility. Talks about her family who live in Missouri, and I relate to that because my parents live in Missouri. Yeah, she's just funny chick, and she kind of reminds me of. I imagine Emma Stone would look like this in 20, 30 years. That's probably doing disservice to Kathleen Madigan's age, but she's good. Gone Madigan from. I think 2010, something like that, and then Madigan again from 2012, something like that. Yeah, she goes on the USO tours with Lewis Black. She and him are pretty good friends, and yeah, really funny comic, Kathleen Madigan. Speaking of Lewis Black, got a bunch of Lewis Blacks. Black on Broadway from 2002. Great, funny comic. Does a lot of political humor, but his delivery style is just so infectious. Sort of a ranter and raver. Yeah, big fan of Lewis Black. Just a very smart guy as well, and good actor. Appeared in a bunch of stuff over the years. Lewis Black, Red, White, and Screwed from 2004. And we have a Lewis Black's Root of All Evil, Uncensored. This was a show he did on Comedy Central in 2008. Yeah, pitting a bunch of subjects. Donald Trump versus Viagra, that's funny. Of course, with the election going on and all the Donald Trump news we get every day. Yeah, really funny guy, Lewis Black. Also got Lewis Black, Stark Raving Black from 2009, I believe. And Lewis Black, In God We Rest from 2012. Alright, moving on down here. Up next we have my Louis C.K.'s. Yeah, Louis C.K. One Night Stand. Yeah, Louis C.K. probably the best comic working today. Is prolific. Puts out stuff every year, it seems like. I think this was from 2005. It's only like a half-hour HBO stand-up. But Louis C.K. is great. I'm a big fan of his show, Louis, on FX. I've only got the first couple of seasons. I've seen the first 4, but I haven't seen season 5 yet. Louis C.K. Shameless from 2007, I believe. Alright, up next we have Louis C.K. Chewed Up from 2008. And then finally we have Louis C.K. Hilarious from 2011. And last but not least, I have this Will Ferrell DVD, Will Ferrell, You're Welcome America, A Final Night with George W. Bush. Of course, Will Ferrell's impression of George W. Bush, pretty infamous on SNL, and this came out in 2008, retiring his George W. Bush. Obviously following Bush's end as president. Yeah, Will Ferrell, great actor, very funny guy, and he did great stuff on SNL with George Bush and plenty other characters. So that is my stand-up comedy section. Up next will be the teen movies. So thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you.
James Bond.